Hello, welcome. Welcome back to day 2. It's been a very, very energetic day, and part of me wondered if this was going to actually happen today, but I was guided, and here we are to bring you stanza number 2. And stanza, I've been sitting with the word usage of that too, because I was like, honestly, I hope I'm using that correctly, but it's a word that just came to my awareness to be used, and I'm trusting it. And I could have looked it up a few times just to make sure that I'm using it accurately, but at the same time, that was also not, it didn't seem necessary. It seemed like just, me trying to perfect something, and just instead of just allowing what was guided to be shared authentically. So trusting that the word stanza is being used appropriately, and if not, no harm, no foul. But stanza number 2, and what we are going to unpack today and really ask you to sit with and contemplate. So, like any of my videos, I invite you to listen with mindful breath. And so as you hit play, if you're coming back or if this is your first time, just tuning in, and you can close your eyes or you can keep them open. To be honest, an eyes open practice may take a little bit more effort in the moment to tune in and harness your awareness to what's pulling your attention. But it's also a lot easier of a practice, I think, to guide into bringing into your day to day. I started with, to be honest, a pendulum. I'll be really honest. And I went through a phase where I was probably, too attached to the pendulum. But then from that space, I harnessed my awareness, and now it's just an internal guide, and I don't have to work hard at it. But given my path, one of the ways that I wish that I would have known was to start with my eyes open, because that's really where I am now. And maybe if I would have started from that place, it would have, been integrated into my day-to-day a little bit differently. But at the same rate, I trust my path. I trust divine unfolding. And especially one that you are consciously and mindfully walking and co-creating beside. The unconscious aspect, well, that's what's gotten us where we are today. So that is why I invite you to bring in this contemplation, this mindful awareness, any practices that tune you in to something more than the story that's animating in your head, and working with becoming the mindful observer of that storyteller and all the other energies that are animating. We were never really taught our gifts and talents that we were born with from our intuitive, more primal ways. And those ways have also been distorted. And that's the invitation, is to start becoming aware. Aware of simply being aware. And it can start with a daily meditation practice where you're sitting in a seat and following a plethora of ways. It can start with a journaling practice. It can start with simply just noticing a sensation in your body that is uncomfortable, and when it speaks to you, have a way to bring a hand to soothe it. We are so disconnected from our bodies and the awareness that comes through it. So that is the work that I invite you to do. And with that, it's really harnessing that inner awareness to calm our nervous systems and to allow ourselves to live this heart-centered life, a life that we are aligned with, one that we embody from a space of true choice. And so often we mindlessly navigating life with the to-dos, the must-dos, the have-tos, should-dos. We could go on and on and on. So this poem is an invitation to really just sit with where you are at, not a space of judgment, from a space of awareness, of a space of inner knowing, and a space of self-compassion. For when we become aware of what we're unaware of, that's our opportunity to change the circumstances and change them from a way that honors our true essence and honors one another from that space. Because any of this work, if you are ever, following a guidance that is in the work of that I guide and it doesn't honor another person with full love and compassion and divinity, it's not coming from the space of higher self. It is coming from a mind's ego, because I truly believe the love that animates the divine is full spectrum, but in that benevolent, however you say that. I always struggle with that word. So most of the distortions come from when we are denying ourselves and then somehow ripple that out into another. And this idea of coming back to wholeness within ourselves and to full knowing. So hopefully you were breathing as I asked you to, as you were listening to the words. And the breath is at first just becoming aware of your breath, however it is, not trying to control it, not trying to change it, just noticing, is it shallow? Is it deep? Is it jagged? What is it? Just be mindfully and compassionately aware and notice. And as you do that, then you can start just slowing the breath, allowing yourself to use your breath as medicine and use your breath to soothe. Breathing in and imagining as you're filling up your body that breath is just like, let your mind show you what medicine looks like as you're breathing it in, or nourishment looks like, or soothing. It's always different for me. Sometimes as I'm doing this work, I'm doing energetic cleanup with fire, or like a blue salve, or a rainbow, or bright light. That's the magic that you get to have as you are on this path of inner healing and inner awareness. Your breath and your awareness are so powerful. And from that space, your expression. And we can express a lot with just our breath. Working in the sound is the last portion. So breathing, feeling, and coming to a place where even allowing yourself to scan your inner body. And if there's any densities or sensations or things that come up that you're not completely at ease within your inner awareness in your physical body, you can allow yourself to use those same 4 pillars: the breath, your awareness, whatever animates, seeing in the mind's eye, bringing soothing to that area as you breathe in, making the unconscious conscious, looking at and observing the sensations, and allowing the mind's eye to just animate the medicine as you exhale and release. And continuing to do that until it dissipates. You can also bring the mindful touch or tapping, anything that brings you into the body and into sensations. You can jiggle and move, shake or quake. This is that inner energetic cleanup, that emotional regulation, that nervous system reset. And one way that I have been guided to work with people on how to do that. And I like to bring a light humming sometimes, or sing. There's so many ways that you can bring ease to discomfort within your body and allow yourself to play with that space. And once you get to a space of inner calmness, inner settling, that is when it is a beautiful invitation for contemplation. And we can do that from our mind as well without, relaxing our nervous system. But we may bring up and we may stew and we may spiral in some mind stories for a while until our nervous system calms down, or we'll just get distracted and move away. So I like to calm my nervous system first, and then inviting in the contemplation or whatever it is that I'm wrestling with. Sometimes it's a question of what I want to do with my life. Sometimes it's, invitation to what spirit has. There's so many aspects, but once you're calmed into a relaxed state, invite in that inner contemplation or discovery. And the stanza for today is, it doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. Doesn't matter. It doesn't interest me in how old you are. So sitting with the age, sitting with times and circumstances where, are there times when age matters? Do you give more credit to someone of a certain age versus another? Do you give the same choice point? If not, why? Again, not a place of judgment, from a place of understanding. A space of looking at how you approach life and people and circumstances. And does their age matter? And if so, why? And is it that way in some scenarios and not others? Again, unpack why. One of the things and one of the tools we used in a program that I facilitated is the 5 whys, and how you can just continue digging down 5 times deeper. Another question I like to say instead of why is because. It is this way because, and I let myself finish it. And then, I find that, I'll just continue expanding it, 5 more questions deeper from that. And I honestly would expand it to beyond more than 5 until you stop having questions. And there you are with so much wisdom about whatever it is that you're looking at. And you can write these down. You can play them out in your mind's eye. You can talk them out loud. A huge, huge, huge thing is having a recording and listening back to your own voice. I use that as a space of shifting belief systems sometimes when I'm really struggling. I will record myself saying something and just play it sitting next to me. And there is something very powerful. Our words have power, and even at an energetic level, subliminals, where we are programmed on so many levels, right? In this world, either consciously or unconsciously, even the tones that play in our audios, they carry frequencies that do things to us that, not a lot of consciousness was aware of in the past. But now that we know, this is the invitation to change and do things better. And with that is the invitation to be mindfully aware of more than we ever have before. And can we be mindfully aware of the beliefs and the things that animate how we show up in life, what we feel, what we believe, how we act because of that. So when we can sit in a space of unpacking these things for ourselves, we come to know ourselves deeper. And from that space, we understand what comes up within us. And if we don't, if we've built this muscle, we know that that's something to sit with, to go in on, and to there's always something to learn within our own selves and within the external world, because I truly believe it's a mirrored reflection. And when you start looking at the world that way, at first it can be, I'm not going to lie, it is not always difficult to accept everything that's being mirrored back at you. But I truly believe that in the oneness of all things, that to truly, as within, so without, heal from the inside out, it requires us to look at things that we've maybe never pondered before. So, what do we think about age? The next thing, I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love. Well, that one, sit with that. What are you willing to be a fool for? And if you were willing to be a fool for love, what would that look like? What is the definition of your love, even with that? And then it goes on, looking like a fool for love or for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. So unpacking, looking like a fool for those three things: love, a dream, and the adventure of being alive. And I would invite you to understand, what does the adventure of being alive honestly look, feel? What is that? What would that be in your day-to-day life? And with that exploration, may you fill it with so much love and grace and compassion and confidence in the vulnerability to sit with whatever it is. From this space, we can see how our, actions or inactions or essence or energy or beliefs color all of our interactions and all of this external world. And when we can know ourselves, we can really come and show up for conversations from a deeper space of knowing, and that compassion will ripple out to everyone. Because when you have that for yourself, that deep self-love and deep self-compassion, that is the real love and compassion that you can have outside of yourself and in every relationship you have. So with that, my friends, many blessings, and thank you for taking the time and listening and opening up to these ideas and unpacking. It's deep work. It's profound work, but I truly believe in it, and not from a space of disempowerment and judgment and shame and to sit in self-loathe and beat up yourself. That is not the point, my friend. The point is the end of this poem. And if you listen to the intro that got you here, it's that piece of really being at peace with yourself in every way. So I'm hoping these stanzas give you a chance to just kind of think about things you've never thought about for yourself, and to empower you to honor yourself so fully and with so much love and compassion and grace for yourself and one another. And knowing and holding space for everyone outside of you to do the same thing. And we can all show up with a more open, heart-centered, like grounded in the essence in who we are, who we were created to come here, all the gifts and talents we have. We all innately have them. We don't need to compete. Someone has this better than I. We all magically honor each other and create this this life together. And there's a lot of chaos out there and a lot of separation, and I believe that it starts by healing the wholeness within all of us. So many blessings. Until next time. See you. Mwah.